Philippians 4:13, yeah, I'm passing every test. Sports news, gospel truth, that's the lane that I run. No filter, just real, and the mission ain't done. So disrespectful, faith.
And now it's time for Sports Insights 790 with Jay Lee, Coach Jones, and Ron Solo.
Or something like that.
The music change up.
You know, I didn't know what song you guys normally use, so Lenny Kravitz gets us going. I dig Lenny. I'm Lee Foster. Thank you for being with us on the Mighty 790. Coach Jones is still here. Rico is still here. Where the hell's Jay Lee and Ron Solo? They're at Fish Fest. The Virginia Beach Tuna Tournament happening out, well, in Virginia Beach. That's where they are. And so we're holding down the fort tonight. 757-627-7979. Call us. Text us. You can email us if you want. Lee@WNIS.com. That's LEE@WNIS.com. Or 757-627-7979. Sports Insight 790. 2 hours of live local sports talk radio to kick off your sports weekend. Coach Jones, what's going on, brother?
Oh, man. It's Friday. It's a beautiful day. I didn't like that weather forecast at all. It's like the weekend's going to be a wet one, but it's a great day to have a great day on Friday.
Do we have a Coach's Corner coming up this evening?
Oh, absolutely.
Are we going to be putting someone on the hot seat?
Oh, yeah. We're going to have more than one hot seat today.
Now, do you tease who it's going to be, or do we have to wait? Do we have to hang out and find out who it's going to be when we do Coach's Corner?
Oh, yeah. You got to hang
wait.
out. Yeah.
Okay,
We got to
all right.
We got to get everybody get everybody in the building first, get them settled down, get them set up, and then we'll let them know.
It's been a minute since I've gotten to do the show with you guys, so I got to relearn the rules. You know what I mean? How we do things around here. 757-627-7979. If you want to be a part of the program, you can call us, you can text us, or you can email us, Lee@WNIS.com. First and foremost, listen to this. Listen to this collection of names, okay? Because the Edmonton Oilers got themselves a new head coach this week. His name is Mike Babcock. Before that, they had a coach named Chris Knobloch. Before that, they had a coach named Jay Woodcroft. Before that, it was Dave Tippett. And before that, it was Ken Hitchcock. The 5 most recent Edmonton Oilers head coaches all have phallic-themed names.
That's nasty.
That is nasty.
How is this not the lead story on SportsCenter? Yeah. Come on!
I guess you don't even have to interview. You just go in there and just submit your name, and they're like, oh, yeah.
He's got the right name. He gets the job. Forget the NBA offseason and the World Cup. This is the biggest story in sports happening right now. Mike Babcock, the new head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. And it'll be interesting to see how that goes with, obviously, the Oilers are a good team, and they've got one of the best players, maybe the best player in the league. So we shall see.
Not the team, though. I mean, how many years has it been since somebody from Canada won the
It's been over 30 years.
Yeah.
I think 32 years, to be exact. It's been that long since a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup, and it's supposed to be their sport.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be their sport,
we took it.
And we're kicking their ass.
USA.
We're kicking their ass. Although they, actually, no. For a second there, I was thinking that they got us in the Olympics, and then I remembered, no, the hell they did not.
No, they did not.
We got them both. We got some big news. I guess if you're a Mets fan, the Mets have reached that point of the season where somebody has to walk the plank, right? We've reached that point. I want to hear from some Mets fans out there tonight. How you feeling with Carlos Mendoza out as your manager? The Mets stumbling to a 34-47 record so far through the first half. Andy Green is going to be taking over on an interim basis. And as is often the case, when you let the coach go or you let the manager go, this feels more like checking the next box on a to-do list than it does actually solving the problem. Because, let's be honest, Mets fans, was Carlos Mendoza the reason that this team was underachieving? Is that why?
No.
Or was he the latest victim of an organization that has spent hundreds of millions of dollars trying to buy its way back to the World Series and has come up totally empty? They have the second highest payroll in baseball.
Yeah, and they're getting nothing for it. I mean, for a team like that, you could pay pennies on the dollar You don't have to spend a lot of money for that. But, he was my 50th coach's corner victim. Carlos
He's been
Mendoza.
on the hot seat.
Yeah. And they
How
should have
long
got
ago?
rid of that was 8 weeks ago?
8 weeks ago. Coach
Yeah.
had him fired 8 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Welcome to 8 weeks ago,
But,
Queens.
I want to make sure I get his name correctly. David Stearns
Yes.
is the president of baseball operations, and he needs to be let go absolutely immediately because he's thinking of bringing in Alex Cora, who was my 11th coach's corner victim because he didn't know what he was doing with the Red Sox. Why would you bring him in? That's just poor GMing.
I'll tell you this. I don't think Alex Cora is necessarily a bad manager, but I still think I will never forgive the 2017 Houston Astros. I can't do it. They cheated. They all should have been banned from the game. Looking at you, Altuve, and you're 5'5" at second base. Looking at you, Alex Bregman. Looking at you, Carlos Beltran. These are all, their manager, A.J. Hinch, got suspended for a year. Alex Cora was part of it. He got suspended for a year. None of the players ever had to pay any kind of fine. They never got any suspension. They didn't take the title away, the trophy.
Yeah. They should have taken the title. The players are following the lead of the people that are running you. Alex Cora, I don't know how he got hired, and he found out when he can't cheat, he can't win.
Yeah.
So why would you bring him in? Why would the Mets want to bring him into their organization?
I remember he got in trouble the second time with the Red Sox for having a sign-stealing scheme. So I'm not necessarily saying that Cora is a bad manager, but it does seem that he's bad news.
He's a bad manager. You're cheating, and
Okay, that's fair.
yeah,
That's fair. I guess I'm thinking in terms of if you take cheating, which I guess you can't really do, can you?
yeah.
But
Because
if you take cheating out of the equation and you just go based off of does this guy have the ability to manage this club? He probably does without the cheating.
I don't think that the best coaches cheat.
No, I agree.
So if
I agree.
he's cheating because he knows that he cannot keep up with the other managers. He's cheating to try to win. Even when he got caught, suspended, he goes to the Red Sox and tries cheating again. Now he's fired again. So why would he even be in anybody's radar to bring back in?
That's a good point. I actually didn't think about that. The mental aspect of that. He doesn't believe in himself.
Yeah.
If he feels the need to cheat.
Yeah. Even after getting caught cheating.
Yeah. Which baseball's a weird game, man, because you've got all these unwritten rules, and some people will tell you that if you're not cheating a little bit, you're not trying. There's always been a thing in baseball where it's fair game if you're a base runner and you're on second base and you can lean down and try to pick off some of the signs that the catchers give to the pitcher and trying to relay them to the batter or something like that. That's always kind of been fair game.
Yeah.
But then there's an unwritten line drawn in the sand where when you start bringing cameras into it and trash cans and technology.
Yeah. Old school, you go there, like, at the defense, they used to huddle, like, right at the ball before the play when you're playing football, and you're trying to listen to anything that the quarterback says in the backfield. Or when they come out there, you're reading everybody's eyes. You're always trying to look for some kind of way to one up. But outright cheating, no.
And that's got to be fair game, right?
Yeah.
It crosses a line. If you're getting too close to the offense's huddle or whatever it is, or if you're using cameras, hey, Patriots.
Yeah.
and their stealing scandal. So there you go.
But that's the problem. But cheating works.
Cheating works. Yeah. Cheating works, and it will continue if the league does not punish the offenders fairly. Back to the Mets for a second. Mendoza certainly was not coaching a perfect roster in Queens. Juan Soto has dealt with injuries all year. Francisco Lindor has dealt with injuries. So your two biggest stars have barely been seen on the field together at the same time. Maybe they're the same person because they haven't been in the same room at the same time. So that certainly doesn't help. But injuries alone don't explain everything. The offense has struggled across the board. Their starting rotation has been inconsistent. And this is after the front office really did kind of reshape the roster. Remember, they let go of fan favorites like Pete Alonso.
Oh, yeah.
He went to the Orioles. Brandon Nemo went down to Texas. They brought in Bo Bichette, and that's been a disastrous contract so far. They brought in Marcus Semien, Freddie Peralta. They overhauled the coaching staff, and now they fired the manager because they're running out of people to blame. And you bring up David Stearns, the president of baseball operations for the Mets. Stearns, the guy that hired Mendoza. That was his guy. He believed him. He backed him. So
yeah. But now it's like one of us got to get fired.
Yeah, and now he's throwing him under the bus. Firing Mendoza is not admitting that the manager failed. It's admitting that the organization's plan did not work. That's what it is. That's a much bigger statement that they're making. I don't know if they know that they're making it. Mendoza's record wasn't even that bad overall. He went 206 and 198, so a little bit above 500. He did help guide the Mets all the way to the National League Championship Series.
That was what, his first year?
In 24. Yeah, that was his first year in 24. So this is not somebody who just completely forgot how to manage baseball games. It's just somebody who was victim of being the manager of a bad team. And I guess
you start losing, you can get fired. That's the quickest way to get fired in the coaching is start losing.
And in New York, patience is hard to find. Patience is hard to find. I mean, managing the Mets, it's become like being the drummer for Spinal Tap, right? You know, somebody's probably not going to make it through the entire tour or something like that. There's going to be
easily replaceable.
There's going to be some replacements.
But the Mets are like the Clippers. Like you can see that they're trying. Nothing is just going to work for them.
If you look at history and you ask yourself, does changing managers actually fix anything? Sometimes it does. There are cases where a new voice can shake up a clubhouse or players get a fresh start. Maybe the energy or the aura of the locker room changes, and maybe you squeeze out a few extra wins from that otherwise same roster. But managers aren't batting cleanup. They're not driving in runners in scoring position. They're not throwing 7 shutout innings. So if the roster isn't performing, there's only so much a lineup card can do. So now, the pressure shifts squarely onto President David Stearns and owner Steve Cohen because, I mean, it's a masterclass. $370 million to be as bad as they are.
That is the issue. If you took $270 million of that and gave it to any other team, they could build a roster and win.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you spend all that kind of money to get in the last place. You could spend almost zero and get last place.
It's kind of like, I guess we're at the point now where it's like I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. I'm amazed. I'm Lee. He's Coach Jones. Rico's with us. If you want to be a part of the show, Sports Insight 790, 757-627-7979. We got lots of sports to talk about tonight. The Mets, that's just what we opened up with because that happened today, firing their manager. But, I mean, we got the World Cup. We got the NBA offseason so far. I'm going to grill the Nationals and their terrible ownership that led to this atrocious bullpen. The Phillies came back 3 nights in a row. They're the first team in Major League history to hit a go-ahead home run in the 9th inning of 3 consecutive games. That's never happened before because the Nationals bullpen is a dumpster fire, and we're going to get to that. WNBA talk too. Caitlin Clark will get to that, and whatever else you want. 757-627-7979. Sports Insight 790, live local sports talk radio for your Friday night to kick off your sports weekend. It's Lee Foster sitting in. Coach Jones is still here. Rico is still here. Jay Lee and Ron, they're out because of tuna tournament. They'll be back next Friday, we believe. 757-627-797. I say we believe only because weird things happen at tuna tournament. So I'm just saying that the good Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise. They'll be back next Friday night. 757-627-7979. If you want to be a part of the show, Coach's Corner, we're doing that coming up after 6:30. Got the news coming up at the bottom of the hour. Apparently, we're bombing Iran again. I guess we missed a spot, so we're going back. We're going to get you updated on that coming up at 6:30, and then Coach's Corner is coming up for you here on Sports Insight 790. There was an article in The Athletic today about C.J. Gardner-Johnson in which they refer to him as the NFL's most annoying player. Most annoying player. And so that got me thinking, of course, who do you think is the most annoying player of all time? Doesn't have to be football. It could be anything. It could be any sport. Most annoying athlete of all time. 757-627-7979. We got a few, but want to hear what yours are. 757-627-7979. C.J. Gardner-Johnson might be the NFL's ultimate. You love him if he's yours. You hate him if he's not player. It's what The Athletic says. He talks nonstop, he hits hard, he creates turnovers, and he seems to have a special talent for getting under everyone's skin. From Tom Brady smashing a tablet, to opponents throwing punches, to being voted the league's most annoying player and biggest trash talker by other players. The problem is that Edge also appears to wear out his own teams, which helps explain why he's now on his 7th roster in 3.5 years. Despite being a proven playmaker, and he's played for the Eagles twice.
Oh, yeah, I know. But apparently you don't know how to shut up in the locker room. You shouldn't be pissing off your own players. You're supposed to be pissing them off.
New Orleans moved on. Philly moved on twice. Houston dumped him after 3 games. Baltimore barely kept him a week. And now Buffalo is giving him another shot on a 1-year deal. So the Bills are basically hoping that they can get the good version of CJ, the turnover machine, the emotional spark, the guy who brings swagger to the secondary. But I guess when you do that, you're also signing up for the full experience. The trash talk, the drama, the CD Deuce alter ego thing that he has, all the noise that follows him everywhere. He may be annoying, but he's productive.
And you have to be. I mean, if you're talking and you can't play well, what do we need you for?
This is true. You got to get under the opponent's skin.
Oh yes.
And it's
one of my favorite things to do when I'm playing sports.
We were, you. I can tell. I can tell that you are a master of the trash talk. We were talking before the show began, trying to come up with our own list to answer this question. Which, once again, what do you think? The most annoying athlete of all time, any sports, and I'm going to let you define that because obviously, most annoying is a subjective thing. You can define it however you wish. It can be the athletes who drive opposing fans, the players, the media, their teammates even crazy. It could be the trash talkers, the agitators, the showboats, the dirty players and lightning rods even, So your Bill Lambiers, for example, or...
You shouldn't single them out like that. It's the whole Pistons team.
I mean, that whole Pistons team.
That whole 89-90 Pistons team.
He was just the face of it, I guess.
Yeah, he was.
But 757-627-7979, who do you think is the most annoying athlete of all time? Now, we were talking before the show, and a name that came up almost immediately. I don't remember if it was you, Rico, that said it first, or if it was you. Larry Bird.
Yeah.
That was you?
Yeah, that was me.
I mean,
they never reported on all the trash he talked, and then once you hear his trash talk, he is so good at it and getting under people's skin. You mentioned I'm just gonna play left-handed if they got you guarding me. I can beat you left-handed.
He would say to guys, Larry Bird would get pissed off. He would get legitimately offended if the other team let a white guy guard him. Which is so funny.
He sure
That's
did.
hilarious.
Yeah. He told that one guy, it's like, your team must not like you if you're going to put you on me.
He's one of the all-time great trash talkers, but his being an annoyance or being a pest was a little bit more calculated, I think. I think
the time, back then, trash talk was good, and everybody was doing it, and he was just very, very good at it. But he wasn't forced to do press conferences, and so you never could get like sound bites out of him. He wasn't really annoying to the press, but he was annoying to any opponent that he went against.
Because there's guys, when you talk about who is an annoying athlete, there's guys that are trying to be annoying for to get a competitive edge, who are trying to get under the competition's skin. And then there's guys that just are annoying. They're not even trying. They're just jerks.
That's just who they are.
That's just who they are. And I think Alex Rodriguez is one of those people. I don't think he's trying to be annoying. I don't think he's trying to be as much of a douchebag as he is. I think he just is a douchebag. You know what I mean? So it's some guys are different. Annoying can be defined any way you like. 757-627-7979. Who do you think? Now, I because it's just often a fun exercise to put stuff into ChatGPT and see what its opinion is. I said, make me a list in order of who you think the top 20 most annoying players of all time are. Who do you think it put at number one?
If you just did it it might be Draymond Green.
That's a good guess, but not number one. He was number three.
All right, that's close.
It said
bronze
trash
medal.
talker, kicking incidents, technicals, constant controversy, Draymond Green. And it was interesting during the NBA playoffs where they had him on the Inside the NBA pregame and postgame show. Like he's trying to rehab his image a little bit. You know, he's trying to come across as more likable because he knows he's a lightning rod.
It's part of his game. Yeah, it's part of his game.
Number one was Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman. Constant antics, mind games, technical fouls, off-court circus. Dennis Rodman, number one.
Yeah, maybe the biggest distraction. I don't know if he's the number one, but he definitely the biggest distraction.
He gets more points for just being a problem off the court.
Yeah.
Not even being. I mean, he was not nearly as annoying on the court as he was off the court, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was most of his headlines. He didn't really score points. He just, rebounder and playing defense. But, yeah, he was extremely annoying.
Number two, most annoying athletes of all time. It was?
It's my quarterback.
Terrell Owens. T.O. End zone celebrations, the self-promotion, the locker room drama.
It's my quarterback.
A quarterback. He cried over his quarterback and then taunting everybody else in the locker room. They had to, hey, man, your skill is outstanding. We need you to go.
I think back to, I forget, I want to say it was against the 49ers when he scored a touchdown and then ran out to the center of the field to be on the Cowboys star at midfield or whenever that was. Only he could find a way to do that.
Would think to do that in the first place. I'm going to throw a guess out there and see if he's in that top 20. He's not very popular. Ndamukong Suh.
Ooh, that's a good one. He is number 16.
Yes.
And he has so many accusations of dirty play. That's a really good one. Sports Insight 790 continues after the news on News Talk 790 WNIS.
You always got the best music.
I lead the league in bumper music. That's right. The show, it kind of sucks. But bumper music, I've got that down. Lee Foster filling in. Sports Insight 790. Coach Jones is here. Rico is producing for us on the other side of the glass. Let's check in with the Rico microphone. Do we have the Rico microphone? No, I don't hear him. I got mic 3. Maybe it's 4. Hello? I hear some buzzing. No, I guess we're going to have to try that again. Well, we tried. We tried, Rico. I mean, if you got something to say and the phones aren't ringing, you can just come in here. You know what I mean? We have the technology to walk.
The technology to walk.
We have the technology.
To the next room.
We were talking about the most annoying athletes of all time. And who do you think that would be? And I'll let you define that however you want to define that. 757-627-7979. We've had a Dennis Rodman come up. We've had a Draymond Green, a Terrell Owens. I brought up Alex Rodriguez. Bill in Virginia Beach has a great one. Hello, Bill. You're on Sports Insight 790. Go ahead.
Thank you for having me. To me, hands down, it's Bill Laimbeer.
Hands
The rest of
down.
them, I can put up with the rest of them, but him, oh my.
What was it specifically about Laimbeer? Because we all know that that Pistons team, they could be dirty, right?
The bad boys.
They were the bad boys, and they relished it. They embraced it. What was it specifically about Laimbeer that sticks out to you? Or maybe a specific moment from watching a game? And also, who are you a fan of? Because that's going to color this conversation, too. I think if you're a Celtics fan or something like that, you probably have a different opinion than, say, if you're, I don't know.
Or Bulls fans had the same thing.
I guess that's true. Bulls fans would. So about Lambeer, what in particular?
That's a very good question. You just had a look. You just had a look.
That's all you need. That's all you need. He had that look.
Just had a look, but I don't follow the NBA really much at all anymore. I'm more of a baseball guy, but I remember, I was a big Bulls fan. I was always a Michael Jordan fan.
Okay.
Way back. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Depending on who you're a fan of, that does kind of color that conversation a little bit, and how you see. Because there some of these guys on this list, and we'll get through the whole list coming up. Some of them, as I mentioned, they're great on the court, and all of their drama is off the court. Some of them, the drama is on the court, like a Lambeer and like that Pistons team that was known for being villainous and whatnot. So, Bill, thank you for chiming in and being a part of Sports Insight 790. We appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
And it reminds me, as I saw on the screen during the break, and I see we got a Bill Lambeer conversation coming up. For those of you who are old school NBA fan, this may be a little bit of a deep cut kind of reference, but anybody who's from the Northeast, certainly anybody who's a Celtics fan, and anybody, just an old basketball fan, is, I guess, at least into the 80s. You would instantly recognize the voice of Johnny Most. He was the longtime Celtics announcer. He was the guy who talked like this. Okay, Bird with the ball. Bird up with the top of the key over to Robert Parrish. Parrish with the ball over to DJ. He hits up. That's a 3-point field goal. That's Johnny Most, okay? Johnny Most is the guy that was, Havlicek stole the ball. It's all over. That was Johnny Most. This is a clip from the late 80s of Johnny Most going off on the Detroit Pistons.
Hi there, sports fans. This is Johnny Most reporting for the Boston Celtics.
And we're starting to see the bang-bang stuff now. Rodman is all over Bird. And there is a violent knockdown by Lambeer. Oh, my. A completely unnecessary foul by Lambeer, and he has the audacity to complain about something. They have been called a dirty ball club, and I can see why. This is a typical disgusting display by Rodman, Lambeer, and Isaiah Thomas. The yellow, gutless way they do things here.
I miss the era of sports announcers like that, where they were complete, total homers. And when something would happen on the court, they would react as if he's reacting to that as if Bill Lambeer slept with his wife. Like he did something to him personally. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That is the equivalent. He pushed Larry Bird down.
I guess he did. I guess he did. That's right. Johnny Most. Hello again, sports fans.
What a voice. You did a great job.
I'm the king of obscure impressions. I do a bunch of impressions of people no one cares about. That's a reference from 40 years ago?
40 years ago.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
Yeah. I could do a half-ass Trump, and I could do Johnny Most from 40 years ago. There you go. 757-627-7979. We'll get back to that coming up. Who is on the sports Mount Rushmore of annoying players? 757-627-7979. You can call us, you can text us, you can email lee@wnis.com. And now, it is time for the Coach's Corner.
It's time to stop playing defense. Coaches, you're on the hot seat. Let's talk decisions, strategy, and what went wrong. You're tuned into the Coach's Corner, where the plays get dissected, the pressure gets real, and Coach Jones turns up the heat.
Oh, yeah. Right off that first note, everybody's got it out there. Has got to know that this is Friday. It's Friday. It's drinking time, and the Coach's Corner is open. You guys come on in, get a seat. Got all kinds of comfortable chairs around here. Get yourself a drink. Settle down. We got a couple hot seats in here tonight, but all the rest of them are cool and comfortable. Sit down. We're going to enjoy ourselves. Yeah.
Oh, my.
How you doing, ladies? Y'all come on in. Yes. Oh, man. This makes Friday so much better. So much better. Okay, I'm sorry. I was lost in a room there for a second. Come on in. Everybody get comfortable. We're in for a rough coach's corner tonight, so and don't just get one drink. Get yourself two of them. Let's turn off the voice of the host, and now we're going to get back to the real coach's corner. All right. Today, in the coach's corner, it's going to be some names that are unfamiliar to you. Robert Starr, Adam Linwood, TJ Renshaw. I'm pretty sure most people don't know who the people are, but Robert Starr is the coach of the football and track team for Memorial High School. TJ Renshaw is the baseball coach for Memorial High School, and Adam Linwood is the football and track coach for Centennial High School. Those names are unfamiliar to you because the only names that were really important for that day is that these three coaches, including and also the principal, vice principal, athletic director, and officials of the track meet from 2 years ago, April 2nd, 25, when unfortunately that Austin Metcalf lost his life, being stabbed by Carmelo Anthony. And I'd also like to include the city of Frisco, and you will find out why as I go through this. Whole
damn city.
Whole city. All these parents. They had a track meet. Carmelo Anthony's 5'11", 160-pound kid, 3.7 GPA. Great athlete. Austin Metcalf, 6 feet, 210 to 220, an MVP linebacker. Both of those kids' lives are changed forever. Unfortunately, Austin lost his life, and Carmelo Anthony has lost a good portion of his life. And my question to the school, the city, the police, where was the supervision? Now, it's a track meet, and it can get kind of hectic, and people are going everywhere. But now there was thunderstorms and heavy downpour. Where were the adults trying to arrange spaces for these kids to go? A lot of teams had tents. Centennial High School did not have a tent. So their coach, for some reason, I don't know where he was in the picture, Adam Linwood, but Carmelo Anthony as the he is the captain of the team. He guided his team to the baseball diamond. And TJ Renshaw, or one of his assistant coaches, came and ran them and chased them back out into the rain, into the thunderstorm. He said they cannot be in the baseball dugout. So now they're wandering around with no place to go, and they're one of the few teams that didn't have any kind of tent. So that's how it started. Then there was some good news. A kid, Eddie Parra, who is on Memorial's track team, saw them out in the rain, and he walked up, engaged in conversation with those guys and said, why don't you guys come in our tent? We got a little bit of room over there. And I'm like, okay.
That's what's up, yeah.
That's what we needed right there.
Absolutely.
But it's still coming from teenagers. There are no adults watch. If my kid is on your track team and he's in the middle of a thunderstorm and you don't know where he is and didn't secure him, I have a problem with that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I have a problem with the baseball coach kicking these kids out.
Mm-hmm.
So then they get invited into the tent, and they're in the tent for 5 minutes, and Eddie is talking to the other players from the school, and they're getting comfortable. So after 5 minutes, Hunter Metcalf, who is the twin brother of Austin Metcalf, another big kid, he's 6 feet, 185 pounds. he sees them in the tent and tells them that they have to get out, which, rival teams, same city, you can get some animosity in there.
Yeah.
Where were the adults? So as they're talking, his brother, the late Austin Metcalf, goes up and says, yeah, you got to get out. He steps in and says, you got to get out or I'm going to put you out. So Carmelo Anthony reaches into his bag and says, don't touch me, whatever. They argue back and forth. Once again, where are the adults? So Austin gets up and grabs him, and Carmelo stabbed him and ran away because he was in their tent, and the other players just went out into the rain and just went out there, and then the police were called. All of this time, there is no mention of anything that an adult did except for kick him out of the baseball dugout. You weren't busy. You weren't doing anything else. You had nothing else to do but take care of these children. All right.
That goes before everything, man.
Yeah.
Take care of the kids.
Take care of the kids.
Where were you at?
That's what I'm asking them to do. So Austin got stabbed in the chest, and they ran him out, and they tried to save him, but he lost his life. Carmelo got arrested, says I was self-defense. And this is why there was no adult supervision on either side. It was peaceful for 5 minutes, and then once Austin told them that they had to get out, then the rest of the crowd starts yelling back and forth that they got it. So they're arguing back and forth, and in 2 minutes, 15 people are yelling for them to get out, get out, get out, get out. It sounds like childlike behavior. Where are the adults looking at these children? The rest of the city, the reason I put them on here, the Anthony family had to move from their house because they were receiving death threats, harassment, and physical intimidation. The Metcalf family, the mom and dad are split up. They have 2 separate homes. It seems like they have a good family relationship. They had SWAT called to their prospective houses several times to stop people from harassing them as they're mourning the loss of their son. The dad, I forgot his first name, he actually went to one of the memorials, one of the fundraisers for Carmelo Anthony because he wanted to try to quell the peace. Both dads of these 2 kids lost their job due to this incident because it was too much attention. The judge that reduced Carmelo's bail from $500,000 to $250,000 also received death threats. It's just, in the world of sports, I've been in track meets for my brothers, for myself. My kids have been in track meets. There's almost too many adults around. They're around doing it. Where were all of these adults where these children were being unsupervised in a thunderstorm? 2 promising young men had their lives ruined because of no oversight, no adult supervision, and a town that has lost its mind, so caught up in racial fighting that you're not even walking around to protect the kids. You're not even doing your job to protect the kids. I'm not acting mad. I'm very mad just looking up this, reading this, and I have one person out of all of these group of people in all of this Texas town, and I'll say his name again, is Eddie Parra, that saw these kids getting kicked out of the baseball thing and took care of them. And that's where Frisco, Texas needs to be as a society. They need more Eddie Parras and none of the rest of these other people.
He was a teenager?
Yeah, he was 16, I think.
So why did they kick him out of the dugout anyway? If it was raining and thunderstorm outside, and the dugouts is there to protect them somewhat. I know it's not supposed to be there, but why are they kicking him out in the rain and thunderstorm?
Yeah, the only thing that I can come up with, and all of this story is all based on race. And I didn't even want to go through and see who was in the race, but the coaching staff for Memorial, they're white. The coaching staff and most of the students for Centennial are black. And Eddie Parra didn't care what their color was. They needed shelter.
Absolutely.
And a 16-year-old said, hey, come over here. We can help you. So as soon as we can get Frisco, Texas to understand that the children are more important,
Yes.
they'd have at least one of these kids going on to college. I mean, Austin has Carmelo had a 3.7 GPA. Austin had a 4.0 GPA. Wow. These guys were on the way to college and having a great life, and it was all taken away because nobody was watching the kids.
Jeff is in Chesapeake. Jeff, you're on the coach's corner.
Yeah, hi. I didn't listen to every minute detail, but it was plastered all over the media anyway. But I believe it went to trial, so this is a nice fairy tale based on race, okay? But I think the adults you need to probably counsel are his parents for raising an animal that would do something like that to another human being, okay? Dig that.
I hear what you're saying. I don't know why you come up with an animal because he was defending himself, much like Kyle Rittenhouse defended himself, and somebody attacked him with a skateboard and he shot him with an AR. You're allowed to protect yourself, and he didn't raise an animal. This kid is, like I said, I gave you his stats. He has 2 part-time jobs, and he is the oldest of a family of 4 boys, and they're all good students and good people. This was an unfortunate situation, and there was so much wrong in there. It doesn't matter to me what color they are or what age they are. Somebody need to step up and do the right thing, and there was a lot of people guilty of not doing the right thing.
So they all fired.
Yeah.
They all gone. Coach's Corner with Coach Brian Jones. You feel better?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's what the Coach's Corner is all about, right?
Yeah, trying to make things better.
Let's talk to Donnie G in Virginia Beach. Donnie, you're on Sports Inside 790.
Yeah, nice talking to you guys. I got a couple stories to tell you. Nothing like racial, like all these things you've been hearing lately, which is really the problem in this country. Too many people are saying things like that instead of minding their own business and getting on with their life. I used to live in California, got married out there. My children were born out there. And I was a Laker fan. The Los Angeles Lakers, a great team. Remember, they always played Boston Celtics. Well, I went to a party one night, and I met Jerry West at the party. And he was the nicest guy, talking to my wife. And I think he had his wife for a date. I can't remember. And I told him I'm going to the Laker game, 2 or 3 days later. He says, let me know, and I'll bring you down to the bench. I said, okay, Jerry. And we talked during the night and all that. Well, I went to the Laker game, and Helena and I were sitting up at our seats, and I got one of the ushers. I says, would you go down and tell Jerry West that Donnie G is up here, and I'll wave to him? So the usher went down and talked to Jerry West, and Jerry West turned around, and he waved me down. So Helena and I, we went down there, and they were just warming up and playing. This was like, for the second half there. And he brought over Elgin Baylor. Remember Elgin Baylor?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
So here I'm talking, Helena and I, here we're down there right on the bench with all the Laker players, and we're talking to Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. And everybody's looking at us like, who are these two people? Jerry West and Elgin Baylor. I mean, talking about you were talking about the nasty athletes. They were so nice, and we had and by the way, the Lakers won that game. Here's the second story. We used to go up to San Francisco. Every time we had friends coming in, we used to go up the coast to like Carmel, Monterey, Big Sur, up to San Francisco. So the 4 of us, 2 couples, were at these restaurants on one of the main streets there up in San Francisco. And we just finished there. We walked out, and I'm standing on the street right by the curb, see? And we're all talking. And all of a sudden, I kind of like look to my right, and here's this real tall guy standing in the street, and he's about 2 feet taller than me. And I look at him and I say, "Aren't you Wilt the Still Chamberlain?" He says, "Yeah." So we start talking, and the 3 other people came over, and we're talking to Wilt the Still Chamberlain. Was he like 7 feet tall? I'm 5'10", and the 8 inches on he was in the street, and another 2 feet up there. He was waiting for his car to be delivered to him. The car was delivered to him. He spent 5 or 10 minutes talking to us. Now, who would do that? That's a nice professional athlete, correct?
We could do a whole nother phone topic because we were talking about who are the most annoying players, who is on the sports Mount Rushmore of annoying players. This is like the opposite.
Yeah.
Who is on the sports Mount Rushmore of nice guys? That's a whole other thing we could do.
Wilt the Still Chambers on a busy street. The car was delivered, and he's talking to us.
Yeah, he's taking the time, you
talk about Larry Bird, that he was annoying. On WNIS a couple of days ago, they had a story about Larry Bird, where he lived down in like the southwest Indiana, and he went up to play at Indiana. He was like a poor boy. And then
the
he
hick from French Lick.
French Lick, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't even went to Indiana State, the school. Then he went down. Then they brought him back up again, and then he went to play for the Indiana with Bobby Knight. Remember, he couldn't get along with Bobby Knight, and there was a whole program about Larry Bird and all that. Then eventually he became president of the team, right?
That sounds of Indiana of the Pacers. Yeah. It sounds sounds like you were listening to. We have a show on WNIS called Our American Stories, and it's basically it's a bunch of featurettes. So you might think of it like that Sunday morning show that CBS News has always had, where it's like you might get a featurette on Larry Bird, and then the next segment is here is how the toaster was made, and the next segment it's a bunch of random stuff, and that airs most Saturday mornings, and then we usually play it on like holidays. So we'll probably be playing it coming up around July 4th or something like that. Donnie, running out of time, but great stories, great talking to you, and a couple entries there for the Mount Rushmore of nice guys in sports. It's Sports Insight 790. I'm Lee Foster filling in. Coach Jones is here. Rico is here. We got the news coming up. A lot going on. I guess we're bombing Iran again. I guess we missed a spot, so we're back doing that, and we'll get the latest from Fox News, and then we'll be back with Sports Insight 790 coming up on News Talk 790 WNIS Norfolk. It is 7 o'clock.
And now it's time for Sports Insight 790 with Jay Lee, Coach Jones, and Ron Solo.
Almost. Jay Lee and Ron busy at tuna tournament. Fish fest, roly-poly fish fest. Fish fest, fish fest. Eat
they rolled that out this morning.
Yes.
Like, how do y'all rehearse the song?
Tuna tournament happening right now, so that's where Jay Lee and Ron are. I'm Lee Foster sitting in. Coach Jones is still here. We did Coach's Corner. Rico is still here, and you're here. So let's hear from you. 757-627-7979. Call or text us, or you can email lee@wnis.com. I asked you the most annoying athlete of all time, and of course we can get back to that if you have an answer for that. I also have an interesting question I want to ask you this hour about going to the White House. A team wins a championship, they go visit the White House, and it's become this big controversial thing. And so I'm going to ask you, should we just get rid of it because we're too polarized as a country now and we can't handle it anymore? Or is that the wrong way to approach it? Are we looking at it wrong and thinking, well, this is a chance maybe to bring a little unity? I'll get into that coming up, but I've waited an hour, Coach Jones. I gotta poop on the Nationals. I've been waiting very patiently. So, okay.
Dun, dun, dun. And by the way, listeners, this is his team.
This has been building up. This has been building up for days now, and Baseball has a funny way of exposing organizations, okay? Not just players, not just managers, organizations. And this week, the Washington Nationals got exposed in every way imaginable, okay? Forget losing 3 of 4 to your most hated division rival, the Phillies. Teams lose series all the time. It's how they lost that should have every Nationals fan asking some uncomfortable questions. And if you're a baseball fan, if you're a fan of this sport broadly, it should concern you that there are teams like this allowed to exist. And I say that as a Nationals fan, mind you. I have been a fan since late 2005 when they drafted local boy Ryan Zimmerman, and his excellent rookie campaign in 2006 solidified my fandom. Loves him. Anyway, back to this week. Nationals take game 1 of a 4-game set with the Phillies on Monday. Tuesday, they're 1 strike away from winning. Couldn't finish it. Bullpen implodes. Wednesday, 1 strike away again. Blew that one too. Thursday, they were up 5-0 at one point, and maybe a small part of me was thinking, okay, perhaps maybe we can stop the bleeding, get a series split. There's no way they're going to come back 3 times in a row, right?
Yeah, no way.
No, but wait, there's more.
They gave it all away. Bryce Harper strolls to the plate in the 9th inning while thousands of fans are chanting something I can't repeat on the radio without getting an FCC fine. And Harper responds the way that superstar players do. He hits one into orbit. The call by Phillies radio announcer Scott Fransky.
The pitch, swing and a high drive. Deep left field, on its way, back to the wall. Lyle, it's out of room, it's gone! And it's happened again, Harper this time. Bryce Harper puts the Phillies on top. 7-5 in the top of the 9th. 18th home run of the season for Harper. And he points up at the kids who have been taunting him all night long. Harper with his own salute back to the tarps off crew.
The Nats gave it away all again. And that's like movie script material, right? The fans are screaming at him. He's getting booed. He's been booed every time he comes back to Washington, and he deserves it. And then he launches the go-ahead home run, and he points to the crowd while rounding the bases. Whether you loved it or hated it, you have to admit that that's a pretty legendary, villainous moment. And going back to annoying athletes, he's on the list anyway.
Dang.
I like that because they said he was pointing at the ones that were taunting him. He wasn't doing it to the whole audience, just the ones that he's been jawing back and forth with.
You can't write a script better than that.
Yeah.
There's something interesting about it, though, because if he hits the home run, right, why can't he just shut up right there and let his play do the talking? He hit a missile opposite Oppo Taco. Like, let your work speak for you. Instead, he gives this, he puts his ring finger up to the crowd and then says this post-game.
You gestured out to right field when you're running the bases. Did you hear them chanting? And why
yeah, I mean, obviously. Yeah. Ring finger, though.
He points out that it was his ring finger.
But yeah, I mean, obviously everybody heard it. We heard it the other night. I mean, they were doing the same thing to Trey.
I know it's kind of hard to hear him because there's a lot of noise in the room, but he says it's weird coming in reference to the booing. Harper says, it's weird coming from a fan base that I sweated for 7 years. Really? First of all, you didn't sweat for the Nationals for 7 years. You gave up and lollygagged around the outfield your last season here, and the defensive stats back me up on that. He was statistically the worst defender among everyday players that year. The only time he put in any real effort was when he won that home run derby in 2018, which was awesome at the time. Second, he made comments repeatedly saying that he was going to stay in D.C. and that he wanted to stay in D.C., and the Nationals offered him 10 years, $300 million, which at the time would have been the biggest contract ever, and he said no, and he took more money from the Phillies, who aren't just a division rival, they are the Nationals' most hated rival. You really think you're not going to get booed?
Of course you're going to get booed.
You really think you get booed in Philly. You get booed by the Phillies fans when you're not hitting. They boo you. You think we're not going to boo you?
Yeah.
We're going to boo you forever.
Yeah.
And that's just how it's going to be. You have to learn to live with that.
I don't think he would have thought that one out. There's no way.
Absolutely not. I mean, yeah, that's kind of bad when you're doing it to the team that you voluntarily left. It's not like you were pretty much got the same money. You would have been a top paid player to stay home with the Nationals, yeah, they're going to hate you, and they're going to hate you for the rest of your career.
And what would have been a better way to handle that is to just be a smug jackass about it and pretend like I'm above the whole thing. They want to boo me, that's fine. Doesn't bother me at all. Like, just be smug about it and then let your home run speak for itself. He spent 7 years in D.C. He's now actually spent more time with the Phillies than he did with the Nationals. But it's apparent that he's still every bit as immature as he was when he played here in D.C. because that's a ridiculous argument. You think you're not going to get booed? Come on! He's a great player. Okay, don't get me wrong. He's a future Hall of Famer. I'm not denying his ability. I'm just saying it shouldn't take a brain surgeon to figure out why Nationals fans hate you, Bryce Harper.
Oh,
anyway.
Absolutely. And as much as you're doing that to the Nationals, they're only 4 games behind the Phillies, even after the sweep.
I know.
It's crazy. It's
They're
not
only
like they're like
2.5 out of the wild card.
Yeah,
too.
they're like it's not like the Phillies are killing it. They need to focus on their day-to-day operations.
So back to last night. Harper hits a go-ahead home run to cap off this miracle Phillies 3-day-in-a-row comeback. It was an amazing moment, an amazing accomplishment, not just for Harper, but for the team. And, what does he do? He can't let it speak for himself. He sticks his ring finger up because he wants to stick his middle finger up to DC fans, but he knows he'll get fined or suspended if he does the middle finger, so he goes with the ring finger, which is ironic for another reason. I don't know if the Nationals will ever win a World Series ever again, but the Nationals have a ring. That was 2019. How many rings do you have, Bryce? I went there. That's right.
The grass wasn't greener.
I know. The Nationals won in 2019 because they didn't re-sign Bryce Harper. They used that money to go out and get some pitching. Patrick Corbin, most notably, who kind of flamed out a couple years later, but at the time was lights out for us in that postseason.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, you just got to put the whole season together. But him, even if he did the ring finger, if I'm the commissioner, I'm going to fine him anyway because
you knew exactly what he was doing.
You knew what he was doing.
Yes.
You knew what they were going to think. You were doing the same thing. I switched the finger real quick, and then I'm not really doing it. Yeah, you're still doing it.
You're still doing it.
Come on now.
All right, so back to the atrocity that is the Nationals bullpen. Here's how bad it is. A team has never blown it quite like this. If you missed earlier, I said the Phillies, and this is your stat of the week. The Phillies are the first team in Major League history to hit a go-ahead home run in the 9th inning in 3 straight games. 3 straight bullpen meltdowns for the Nationals. And this has been a reoccurring theme for the team all year long. I want you to listen to this. These are all 3 of the go-ahead home runs hit by the Phillies as called by the Nationals radio announcers.
No.
And I want you to hear how it goes from, oh no, to, it's happening again. Here's the first one.
Set, the kick, and the delivery. Swinging a drive, deep right field. Oh no! It is gone off the facing of the second deck.
No.
And the Phillies answer back. Marsh homers. The game is tied at 8.
Here's the second one.
The 1-2 pitch to Hill, swinging a fly ball right field deep, sending Wood back to the warning track, to the wall. He leaps, and it's gone. They have done it again to the Nationals. A pinch hit home run for Derek Hill, and the Phillies lead it 5-4.
And here's the third one, 3 straight days.
Marlin deals. Harper hits one to left field deep. On the run is Lyle. Way back to the wall. He leaps. It's gone.
Oh, he accepted defeat.
Opposite field, 2-run homer, Bryce Harper. And the Phillies in the 9th inning strike again, and they lead it 7-5.
He accepted it. That's all it was.
Complete dejection.
Yeah, and what's up with the setup? He leaps.
It's gone.
He don't get it.
Fly ball caught.
Wow. Did you know already that the bullpen needed some help?
If you didn't know before, you know now. And here's the bigger issue. Everybody wants to blame just the bullpen, and the bullpen deserves plenty of criticism. Don't get me wrong. You cannot keep handing games away like that. You can't keep walking guys and then serving up meatballs in the 9th inning and blowing late leads the way that they've been doing. But if you're just blaming the bullpen, you're blaming the symptom instead of the disease. And the disease is ownership. Because the bullpen didn't magically appear out of nowhere. Somebody built that, or a better way to put it, somebody didn't build it. Somebody didn't build a bullpen. The Nationals entered this season with what scouts around baseball were calling one of the weakest bullpens they had seen in years.
Wow.
That is not hindsight. That is people were saying that in February. And what did Washington do? Pretty much nothing. Other small market clubs, they found a way. They spent a few mil here and there on some veteran relievers. Not superstars, right? Not a superstar closer, not doling out $100 million contracts, just experienced arms, right? Guys who had been there, guys who had pitched in the ninth inning when your heartbeat starts pounding in your ears. And instead, Washington rolled the dice on waiver claims, bargain bin signings, young pitchers learning on the fly. Well, class is now in session, and the Phillies just handed out the final exam. I mean, look at Thursday's game. Bryce Harper was not facing an all-star closer when he hit that home run. He wasn't facing some proven veteran with 100 or 200 career saves or something like that. He was facing a reliever making the league minimum.
But
that's not an insult to the pitcher. That's just reality. You know what I mean?
So they don't have, in their farm system, they don't have any pitchers to bring up. They just have none available.
I think at this point, regardless of who you have in AAA, just bring them up. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Who do you have in AA? Just bring them up. Just bring them up. Yeah. What's the worst that can happen?
Because these guys are not working. So
right.
Anybody would bet. Rico.
Yeah.
Let's go, man. We're going to Nationals.
I still got a good arm.
Honestly, yes. Get out there. Get out there. Now, imagine your biggest save opportunity against Bryce Harper, 30,000 people losing their minds, and everybody watching knows that you're basically auditioning for the role of staying in this bullpen because you're a bum. You know what I mean? Now, and then compare that to what Philadelphia does, for example. I'm just going to use them as an example because they're here. The Phillies spend. They've got veterans on that team. They've got stars. They have a roster that's built to win today. Meanwhile, Washington is one of baseball's youngest teams. And what's frustrating about that, the lineup is actually good. It's really good for the Nationals. This Nats offense has been a pleasant surprise. We knew their offense would be decent. We didn't know that they would lead the league in runs scored per game, which they have pretty much all season. They score more runs per game on average than the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Cubs, the Braves, major market teams with bigger payrolls. They're scoring runs, they're putting pressure on teams, and they're doing enough to win, but the bullpen keeps giving those wins right back. So
you gotta you got to get rid of them, and you can't destroy a season like that. They were up, 5-0 in the first inning?
They were up, I think, in the second last night's game. Okay. They were up 5-0 in the second inning. And then all the runs that the Phillies scored was after the starting pitcher, Cade Cavalli, came out. It was all in the bullpen. And the Nationals don't have great starting pitching either, but it's not anywhere near as bad as the bullpen. It's the starting that we have is serviceable, especially if we use an opener, which a lot of teams are doing now. You have one guy pitch the first inning, take care of 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 in the order, and then have your starting pitcher start in the second inning. So he's starting against the bottom of the order as opposed to the top of the order, which allows him to last longer in the game. That's a weird thing. It
is a weird thing, but
it makes sense if you don't have a strong starting rotation. It makes sense because if you have starting pitchers that are maybe not quite as good, typically speaking, the third time through the order, that's when pitchers get hammered. Mm-hmm. So if you can limit a pitcher from pitching to somebody 3 times, if you only have to face the top of the order with your long man twice, there's logic behind it, and it works.
Instead of coming up with that plan, you have to go get some pitching.
Well, yeah.
I wanted them to go.
That'd be nice.
The Orioles needed them, but can y'all just go to Pittsburgh and kidnap Skeens and just bring them in, and then go to all these? There's got to be somebody with some better bullpen pitcher. You guys took care of the offense and didn't take care of the defense.
And you know what? I'm not asking the Nationals to empty the bank. I'm just saying, because I know that the team is still building, and they're developing young talent, and they're investing in scouting and player development. All of that matters, and all of that will pay off. That's how sustainable winners are built. But there's a difference between being smart and being cheap.
Right.
And they're being cheap. Some baseball owners, and it's not just Washington, Pittsburgh is the same way. I kind of think Cleveland is the same way. Miami, there's a number, the White Sox have been that way. There's a number of team owners that act like every dollar they spend comes directly out of their lunch money or something like that.
Right.
So I'm not saying that Washington needs to go out and sign the biggest closer on the market or trade for the biggest closer on the market. I'm just saying one or two reliable veterans would be nice. Because as of right now, the Nationals are asking, at best, kids, young guys who are inexperienced, and at worst, bums, to keep going back out there. And here's the other part of it that's interesting for me. And I promise I'll shut up about the Nationals in a minute.
In about 2-3 months.
Yes. Yeah. This is the sad part. This pitching issue, at least as we can see, has not affected team unity or morale as of yet. The Nats, their bats keep going out there, and they keep putting up 5.34 runs per game on average, number one in the league. The players are not pointing fingers. The young relievers know that they're letting the team down, but the starters are defending them. The clubhouse still seems unified. No one's throwing anybody under the bus. That's encouraging, and it shows that they have a good mix. It shows that there's something special about the team, that through all of this, they're not, hating each other. And it's the first year with a new manager, Blake Butera, who so far has done a great job keeping everybody focused. Imagine what this team would be if they just had a league average bullpen. Or even a little bit below league average.
Oh, they'll be at the top. They'll be at least they'd be maybe number one in the wild card.
And I'm not even saying elite level relief pitching or elite starting pitching. I'm saying completely league average or even just a hair below league average pitching. Because despite their pitching woes, they're 41-41. They're exactly 500 at this point in the season. If they play to the American League West, they'd be in first place. Wow. But as it stands right now, they're only 2.5 out of the wild card. I think they're 4.5 behind the Phillies. Or actually, it might be more than that. It might be 8 now. I forget what it is. But if they just had league average pitching, they would be a playoff team.
There's no way that even now, as it's nearing the middle, the mid-season, you should be able to pick up half-decent relief pitching.
Is it just want to go with them because they're so young? They want to get basically like a type of on-the-job training type thing, like they want to keep on going with it while just going to get veteran players to say, let's see what we got here and keep on going with that.
You know what? On-the-job training, you know where that happens? AAA, AA, single A, college. Not at the major league level. Alan is in Buckrow Beach. Hello, Alan. You're on Sports Insight 790.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. If it's okay, I'll make this quick, but I'm going to go ahead and piggyback on Bryce Harper booing and the Nationals. Is that cool with everybody?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Alan, you're a regular to the show. You can talk about whatever the hell you want, man.
Really?
Well, within reason. Come on.
Can I
on.
say something about my new girlfriend?
If as long as it's FCC compliant.
And your girlfriend compliant.
Really
and your girlfriend's compliant, too. That's a good point.
We're not liable for anything.
We are not liable if your girlfriend dumps you or gets mad at you or makes you sleep on the couch tonight. That's on you.
Can't blame us.
Hey, listen, guys. I had 2 or 3 quick questions, but
yeah,
I wanted to address them to, Ron Solo, the gigolo, but he's probably not at the office right now, right?
He'll be back next week. There were Ron and Jay Lee are working too.
Guys, about Bryce Harper and the Nationals and booing and all that, but I think if I remember correctly, Bryce Harper came right up to the major leagues as a teenager, I think. Am I right? He was 19, maybe?
You were correct. Mm-hmm. Yep, you were absolutely correct.
And he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated at one time, I think. And I'm not sure if he ever played in college. I don't think he did. But
briefly,
just a reminder for everybody, and I am not a Bryce Harper hater, but he was supposed to be the next big thing. And he's a great player, don't get me wrong, but many have come now since him that are better than him. He's a great player, but he wasn't the next big thing now that years have gone by. And, guys, I've seen that in other sports, too, like golf. You remember back in the day, that guy David Duval, who was really good in college. And then when he played on the PGA Tour for 3 or 4 years, he was terrible. But he was supposed to be the next big thing. And in NASCAR, guys, many years ago, Mark Martin nicknamed Joey Logano, and he was only 20 when he got to NASCAR. He was sliced bread, and he's going to be the next big thing. Now, listen, he's won a couple championships, but the next big thing, I mean, like the king of the sport, I don't know. And back in the day in hockey, that guy for the Flyers back in the day, Eric Lindros, an amazing player.
Oh, yes.
The next big thing was going to change the sport. Not so much in that as far as the next. Bryce Harper was supposed to be the next big thing, and he's a great player. But Dale Earnhardt Sr. used to say a bunch of times back in the day in racing, and people would ask him questions all the time in racing. Dale Earnhardt Sr., how do you feel about going everywhere and half the stands are booing, right? They asked him that so many times. And Dale Earnhardt Sr. would always say, hey, as long as people are saying something about you when you get introduced before the race, he said that's a good thing. He goes, you know when your career's over, when you get introduced in races in the beginning, and it's crickets. And but I think the booing, and I don't like booing from fans, to be honest with you, but Bryce Harper, I honestly believe you should not acknowledge things like that and go back and forth and make gestures and things. He's not the only one ever. We know that. But it just doesn't help your personality, your career, and you're just putting yourself, like my grandma used to say, don't get in the mud with the pig. I mean, you know, and I never understood that back in the days, guy, but I did after she passed away years ago. But you're just better off to kind of ignore those things and don't go back and forth and things like that. And he's always been kind of a smart A, I think. I don't really dislike him, but he is not the best, greatest thing when he first came into the league by no stretch, like those other people I mentioned. But I got to say one thing about the Nats, you guys, as far as if they do something at the trade deadline, which I think maybe a month or 5 weeks away, in order to get, you guys were saying, some kind of pitching here and all, but would they have to give up, you know, some things that they have? And please don't tell me that it would be that James Woods guy. And I'll take your comments off the air.
I'll just say this, because we got the news coming up here in less than 30 seconds. If they trade away James Wood or they trade away C.J. Abrams, those are their two best players, that would be a humongous mistake. They do have some pieces that maybe they could get something for. They've got, I don't know if maybe you can flip Jose Tena or maybe, I don't want to lose Curtis Mead because he's been so good this year. Maybe there's some guys you can flip for something. And like I said, doesn't need to be the best, just needs to be average. News Talk 790 WNIS. Sports Insight 790. Lee Foster sitting in tonight because Jay Lee and Ron Solo, they're at Fish Fest. Fish Fest. They're at the Virginia Beach Tuna Tournament, and they will be back as the show continues. Sports Insight 790 every Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. 2 hours of live local sports talk radio for your ears to enjoy, to get your sports weekend started right. And to give you a little bit of a break from politics, of course, and I say that with this in mind, and I don't want to make I come in here, I'm guest hosting the show, and I don't want to come in here and make it all about politics or anything, but this is one of those areas where sports and politics do kind of intersect, and it's something I think we need to have a conversation about. So there's something that has become about as predictable. You know how sports, we have all the media cliches, like, we're just taking it one game at a time, we're going to try to go 1-0 today. We're not going to try to do anything beyond that. So the controversy surrounding the White House visits when teams win a championship has become almost as predictable. So the Knicks, right, they win their first NBA championship since 1973, and almost right away, we're not talking about basketball anymore. We're talking about the damn White House. We're talking about something that has nothing to do with basketball. James Dolan, the owner of the Knicks, he says the team received an invitation from President Trump He says that he accepted it on behalf of the organization, and then Jalen Brunson gets asked about it and says, hold up. We haven't talked about this. Players haven't talked about this. So it's interesting because 20 or 30 years ago, this wasn't a story. A championship team went to the White House. Everybody smiled. They shook hands. Maybe somebody cracked a joke. The president got a jersey. Remember that time George W. Bush tried to bounce a basketball and it didn't bounce back, and he looked like an idiot, but it was funny?
Yeah.
Yes.
The athletes,
one of the presidents threw a football pass.
Yeah.
That's to the Redskins.
To the Redskins, yeah. I think that was Ronald Reagan.
I think so. It was either Reagan or the first Bush 41.
Yeah, I can look that up for you. I remember he threw it past to Ricky Sanders.
Sounds like it was Reagan, yeah. I mean, they go, they eat some decent food, they take a team picture, and they move on with their lives. And today, it becomes one of the biggest stories surrounding a championship. Not who won Finals MVP or who, showed up at the parade, what celebrities were involved, or the free agency, who is the team going to keep. It's the damn White House visit, and I think it's worth asking. Have we reached the point where this tradition has simply outlived its usefulness? And to be clear, I don't think that this is about one president. This isn't just about Trump. It isn't about Biden, Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Millard Fillmore, Chester Arthur, none of the presidents. This has been building for years. We are a polarized country now. Republicans, Democrats, doesn't matter. We've seen teams decline invitations, players skip visits. The organization will get criticized if they go. They'll get criticized if they don't go. So no decision a team makes is going to be good for them. Half the country says good for them. Half the country says how dare they. It's exhausting. You know what I mean? The White House used to be about celebrating a championship, and now it feels like everybody starts counting who showed up, who stayed home, who smiled in the picture. If one of the Knicks players shakes Donald Trump's hand, then it's going to be like there's going to be people on the left that are like, oh, the horror. Or something like that.
Yeah, it is a great tradition, and it's the player's choice, but it'd be nice if they could just try to go and have a regular, normal visit. You're just going to go. He's going to say some good words. You're going to eat, and you're going to go home. But who hasn't had to go to something like that you really didn't want to go to? But this is what we do. I think we need to push through the traditional thing. The boss needs to say, hey, all right, we're going as a company, and we're going here, and we're going to eat. We're going to say thank you. We're going to shake hands, and we're going to walk away like adults.
Exactly. And just to say, I met the president, that's still an achievement in an aspect as itself. I met the president. How many times can you say, I have met the president of the United States? Like, you can at least say, just say, you could tell your kids, like, regardless of what your policies or regardless of what you have to say, but to say, I met the president of the United States because I won a championship. This tradition that keep on going. It's good to do that. And like you said, you can get fed. You can probably get some good food. You can probably get good stuff. So just go meet the president.
It's the same thing that they do, like when if the president visits, like he did the Mac plant.
Mm-hmm.
All the employees didn't vote for him. Some half did and half didn't, probably based on. And we all go there. He makes his speech. You just show up to work. You do it, and then you just keep on moving on about your day. We have to get back to that. If we're going to try to unify this country, we're not going to do it by separating. Mm-hmm. That's not how you unify somebody.
Absolutely.
As I was thinking about this, preparing the show today, I couldn't help but imagine a scenario where Stephen A. Smith was like going over footage of a White House visit, and I just imagined him being like, notice here, the power forward, he's standing 2 feet farther away from the president. What does this mean? That's disrespectful. Like, I couldn't help but imagine, like, Stephen A. criticizing the White House visit or something like that.
Oh, his favorite word.
I think sometimes you just got to fight through the criticism and just, like, what is the right thing to do? So the right thing to do, based on your question, is should we can it because we can't act like adults?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or do we keep it and go back to, we're going to do this because this is the right thing to do. And we're going to put your feelings aside for a few minutes. We're going to go in here, we're going to do this, and then we're going to go home.
It's all about being mature.
And I'm not asking NBA players to not have opinions. NBA rosters are very diverse. The idea that 15 guys are all going to have identical feelings about every politician is unrealistic. I guess that's a reflection of America today. Now, here is the argument for keeping the tradition, which you kind of successfully just made. The White House isn't just the president. It is the White House. It's an American institution. So whether you voted for the person currently living there or not, and we all know if you listen to WNIS for any period of time, by this point you probably know how I feel about Trump. You know I don't like him. You know Tony and I despise him. But I'm leaving my politics at the door for this conversation. The invitation is supposed to recognize excellence. It's not about the person currently in the office. It's supposed to say, congratulations, you accomplished something extraordinary and your country wants to recognize it, which is objectively a pretty cool tradition. You know what I mean? And I would hate to lose traditions like that just because we have become more divided as a country. And that
Slightly. I got to interrupt there for a second.
Please.
When they had the Knicks parade, Mondavi he was not elected in a landslide. So when you can do it for your mayor and you can come whether you voted for him or not, you can do that. You can back that same attitude when you go to the White House and meet whoever is there, whether you voted for him or not or you voted or not. And you just go as a team and come back. And I think we need to force to keep our traditions.
You bring up a good point. If they're with Mamdani, who is not just a Democrat but somebody who is on the far left of the spectrum, and then they don't meet Republican politician, or in this case Trump, who is on the far right of that same spectrum, you know what I mean? That does seem like they're being hypocritical. You know, you have this is what I've always liked about sports. And I think at this point, sports is the last sort of monoculture thing that we have in this country. I mean, think back to 40, 50 years ago, everybody sat down and watched the same TV shows.
Right.
You know what I mean? There were 5 TV stations. Everybody watched the finale of MASH, whatever that was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The last thing we have is the Super Bowl. Or you know, college football playoffs, or to a lesser degree, the NBA Finals, the World Series. Those still pull in tens of millions of viewers, but the Super Bowl is like, you know, 120 million.
Yes, one game, winner takes all.
Absolutely.
My point, I guess, is that sports is the last thing that we have that still brings people together. You have, at Madison Square Garden, sitting next to each other, Republicans and Democrats high-fiving after a game-winning shot, not asking who anybody voted for. That is the magic of sports, and that's something I've always loved about it. So the White House visit should be one of those moments. You know, maybe it's one of the opportunities where politics could take a back seat. Now, just to hear out the other side, here's the flip side of this argument. Is that a reality anymore, or are we kidding ourselves that we can come together? Because, like I said earlier, if the Knicks go, there will be outrage. If they do not go, there will be outrage. If half the team goes, there will be outrage.
That's the only scenario where there should be outrage, because either we're all going or nobody's going on this team. We're going to the team is going to be unified, and we're either going to go or not go. But you can't just pick and choose. That's not how traditions work.
But I think even if the whole team goes or one player sits out, no matter what, there will be outrage from some community of the political spectrum.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to ignore outrage. I mean, we don't have a country that's built on 95% geniuses. There's going to be people making poor decision making all the time.
Yeah.
But our traditions, you go take your team, go to the White House. It doesn't matter who's in there, and then you go back home and
that's it.
Enjoy the rest of your championship summer.
Exactly.
It's I guess we live in a country now where there's no way to avoid controversy, and it makes me it does make me wonder if it's time to rethink the whole thing. Not because the tradition is bad, or because honoring champions is bad, or because we have attached so much political baggage that it no longer serves its original purpose. maybe instead of every championship team going to the White House, maybe we alter it. Maybe the president simply congratulates them publicly. Maybe Congress hosts them, so there's Republicans and Democrats there. Maybe there's another way that I haven't thought of to have a national celebration that's less political. I'm not saying that's how I feel. I'm just genuinely asking and trying to play both sides here and sort of set up the debate, because it feels like every single championship celebration eventually turns into a political debate, and we're not talking about anything that is praising of the team.
I'll go with him what he just said, because I remember I think it was the Raiders when they won the Super Bowl. Did Ronald Reagan call in? So at least if the president was to call in and to say congratulations to the team, then it would be satisfied, because you might not know who is that person for. If the president calls just to
right, calls, you're just going to talk in general to everybody. But I was kind of like Lee's idea also, is that why doesn't Congress show up and they all, as the Congress and the president, go to the White House and they all get together, celebrating all together. And
it was what he said though. Controversy, because even though you had the Democrats and Republicans, what about the third party? They might feel some type of way about it.
Well, no, I'm saying, I'm saying all of them show up.
Jill Stein and the Green Party,
exactly,
or the Libertarian Party.
It doesn't matter. All right, say everybody wear yellow.
Exactly.
Right.
We ain't got no left and no right, no green. Everybody's wear the same thing.
Right.
But I mean, it can be done. It's just people are going to complain no matter what you do. So you might as well just do what's the right thing.
Absolutely.
Here's Steve in Williamsburg. Hello, Steve. You're on Sports Insight 790.
Oh, gosh. Thanks for taking my call. Great to hear you guys' voice.
Same to you. What's on your mind, man? Good to be talking to you.
Okay, well, to make this very quickly, Lee, you're the baseball guru, stats-wise.
Your boy here's got a touch of the tism. You know, he knows his baseball statistics pretty well.
Okay, I just wanted to throw one question out that I've been looking for the answer for 20 years without the help of Google.
Okay.
And the question is, who was the last National Leaguer to hit 400? Please answer it.
The last National Leaguer. Okay. Well, it can't. Ted Williams was in the American League, so it's not Ted Williams.
Absolutely.
The closest was the closest in recent memory was Tony Gwynn. I don't know. The last National Leaguer, was it like Honus Wagner or something like that? Like way back, or Ty Cobb or?
Well, you're getting back into the area. Given that, name one player or two that hit 350 over their career. And I'm kind of going somewhere with this.
Name one player that hit 350 for their career?
Yeah, well, you know the one that hit 367. You know that guy's name.
Do I? Tell me, who hit 367?
Ty Cobb.
Oh, I was thinking. Sorry, I was thinking National League, because Cobb was with the Tigers, wasn't he?
Yeah, from Detroit. Yeah,
right. That's American League.
Okay, no, we were just talking about. He's got the highest lifetime average, and then if you keep on going down the trend, what's the highest lifetime average right now from 2000 to 2026? What, 337? That's what I say.
Wow. Highest lifetime average since 2000. The first name that comes to mind was Albert Pujols. I don't think that's correct, though. Miguel Cabrera comes to mind. Just tell me who it is.
What number? We're talking baseball. You got to have a number.
I'm not sure I understand what you're asking me.
Ted Williams hit 344 lifetime.
Okay.
I believe that to be correct.
Okay.
And then you had Bill Terry, 342. I'm getting obnoxious now.
It's all good, man.
And what I just wanted to kind of what y'all were saying about the Knicks and politics in sport. Put it aside for a day. We're all Americans. Okay? So give it a rest for the next 10 days. Celebrate where we were, what we are, and where we're going.
And you know what? To Steve's point, if we get rid of the tradition of the champions visiting the White House, we're admitting defeat at that point.
Right.
Are we not? We're admitting
that's correct.
that we are so divided that we cannot celebrate a championship together anymore, and that is super depressing.
Especially
You know what I mean?
a team like the Knicks coming from one of our most diverse cities.
Right. And a team with such a storied history and a fan base that has suffered for so long.
53 years.
If we eliminate traditions every time they become controversial, pretty soon we're not going to have many traditions left. And so, I guess whether it's the Knicks or the Seahawks or the Dodgers or the Carolina Hurricanes or whoever wins the College World Series of Darts, and every championship team seems to face this question now. I guess we're all in agreement.
The league commissioners can make it mandatory, just like they make it mandatory that you got to speak to reporters. But for Steven Williamsburg, I used the Google machine that he will not touch, and the highest batting average is Josh Gibson, 371, Ty Cobb, 366, Oscar Charleston, 363, Rogers Hornsby, 358, and Shoeless Joe Jackson, 356.
I had no idea I forgot that they integrated the Negro League stats.
Right.
So
Yes.
Josh Gibson, I forgot that. And I also didn't know that Ty Cobb had the all-time highest batting average.
I didn't either.
I didn't know that.
I thought he was top 5. I didn't think he was first if you don't
Ted
include
Williams.
the Negro Leagues, and second if you do. I didn't know his was that high, but that's pretty awesome.
And this says since 2000, you was actually correct. So Lee, I'm going to bring on the Jeopardy with me. Albert Pujols, 296.
Oh, man, you nailed it.
He has the highest career
Since
batting average
2000.
since 2000. Okay.
Yes.
You
So,
got
Lee Foster, stat guru.
At least I got one. I got one, I guess. Sports Insight 790. We're back after this. News Talk 790, WNIS, Sports Insight 790 continues for the next 4 minutes or so. I'm Lee filling in. Coach Jones is here. Rico is here. Jay Lee and Ron, they'll be back next week. Coach Jones.
All right. Alan, David Duval, he was the next best thing to come in. And he came in, he shot all the way to number 2. And some fellow named Tiger Woods, that was the only golfer in the world that he could not beat. And he ended up having to go to counseling, had to get himself straight. He did everything he could to try to beat him. He destroyed all the other golfers, and it wasn't like a mental breakdown. It was just trying to figure out a way to get over this hump to beat this guy, and he tried everything he could. And so he was not a failure. He was outstanding. He just could not beat that one. And the other thing is that the phrase is, don't wrestle with a pig, because he loves it. He loves to wrestle around in the mud.
You went to counseling, I'm sorry.
Do you guys ever, Rico, you might. We, of course, run the Commanders games here on WNIS. You ever listen to the post-game show with Fred Smoot?
Yes.
On the Commanders radio network?
Yes.
You ever hear him? He'll obviously Washington had the Hogs in the 80s, and so this new crop of offensive line, he calls them the Piglets.
Yes, he does.
Those are some wild boys. Let me tell you about the wild boys. They
Coach,
get down nasty.
don't say nothing, Coach. Don't say nothing. Be quiet. Be quiet. Let it go.
That's a wild boy.
That's a wild boy.
Yes.
Kevin in Virginia Beach. Kevin, you're on Sports Insight 790.
I thought two things.
Yes.
Mel Lott was the last guy to bat over 400 in the National League.
Nice. Okay. All right. Very good.
And who's the only guy to bat 400 his rookie year?
His rookie. I have no idea.
Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Really?
Oh, Shoeless Joe Jackson was a better hitter than he was.
Now, why can't Shoeless Joe be in the Hall of Fame? You know what I mean?
Well, now that he's dead, they're going to put him in and Rose in, even though they bet.
Right. I mean, sports has just become a mechanism for distributing advertisements to your eyeballs about gambling. That's all it is now. So we can't pretend like we care about Pete Rose or Shoeless Joe Jackson betting on sports or whatever. You can't be in bed with BetMGM and FanDuel and then not let Pete Rose in.
Yeah,
and Shoeless Joe.
Absolutely.
Little known fact about the movie Field of Dreams. Great movie. Yes. Shoeless Joe Jackson was a left-handed hitter, but Ray Liotta, he tried to learn how to hit left-handed for the movie Field of Dreams, and he couldn't do it. Wasn't good enough doing it, and they didn't have enough in the budget to film everything in mirrored form and reverse it. So he batted right-handed in Field of Dreams. Shoeless Joe in Field of Dreams is right-handed, but in real life he was left-handed. There you go.
So he cheated.
There's some useless knowledge for you. That's what I'm good for. Resident, as I said, touch of the tism. Resident baseball nerd. I'm Lee Foster. It's been fun hanging out with you guys. Coach Jones, Rico. These guys are part of Sports Insight 790 every Friday night from 6 till 8. Live local sports talk right here on News Talk 790 WNIS. Pleasure, guys.
Go Piglets.
Yeah.
That's some wild boys.
Faith over fear, put the word in my chest. Philippians 4:13, yeah, I'm passing every test. Sports news, gospel truth, that's